So we're bidding this. Just like most bids, I want it. So bundled up with long underwear, I can't even bend over. Oh, what's that? What animal do you think that's from? You can see what that auger got into. That's all minced granite. Hey, part of the excavation business is doing bids. And that's what we're here to do today. It is the middle of winter, which is good. Because if you can get your whole next year set up while it's cold outside, then you're sitting pretty good, and you can determine what kind of equipment you need to invest in, what you can afford, etc. for the upcoming season. So we got a job here. Let me show you. So we're bidding this, but just like most bids, I want it. So we're just gonna start out here. Gotta have a culvert per county. And so we've got, one thing you're looking at here is you can see there's some depth. So you got to bring in enough fill material and compact in this area in order to make sure you don't get washout and that type of thing. So we need to make sure we got a couple truckloads of road base so that we can compact all that in, and it'll schmooze in nicely with the road here. And then what we're going to do is come up and go a little bit to the left here, right on top of this knoll. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see, maybe it's 200 feet. And then the customer wants to put 3 small buildings there, 2 little kind of cabin houses and 1 storage shed. I've got my handy dandy little roller down here. So let's get this set up and we'll see what kind of distance we're talking. And one thing you want to make sure of is that you're always going on the outside circumference of the driveway. Make sure you have plenty of material. If you do the inside, you'll end up short. So bundled up. So bundled up with long underwear, I can't even bend over. One thing I do is I'll let it kind of roll and spin like that. I don't know if you can see the wheels still spinning in the air. And that makes sure that I know I'm getting plenty of material. That can cost you your profit on a job if you got to bring in 2 extra loads, because we've got to come over a couple mountain passes to bring the load. So if you're talking a half day per load and you didn't bake that in, you're paying a driver for 2 whole days plus all the material. You got a problem. So we want to make sure we got plenty. That is 160 feet. And we'll have to see here, big parking area. So let's keep going here. All right. Gotta keep going around here. In this county, driveways have to be 16 feet wide in order to be permitted by the county. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of a loop here around and coming back kind of like a big fish hook, and then I'll just multiply that times 16 feet wide and 4 to 6 inches thick. The other thing we do have to do here is get all this vegetation out, then we'll go ahead and compact this whole area. So, oh, what's that? What animal do you think that's from? All right, so we'll come around here, do that 16 feet wide by 225, and that should give us enough material. Then we're gonna be putting septic in here as well. So logically, the septic, that elevation is going down this way. So it's gotta be a certain distance from the road, but I think out here is probably where the leach field would be. The houses are up here. So I have a decently long pipe run from the tank down to the leach field over in here. So I did advise the client to go ahead and get a land survey, which will give stakes and lines for the property and any other ecological issues that we might have out here. And that'll let the engineering firm that's designing the septic system know, you know, where to place the leach field, etc. So the other thing we want to look at here is we're just kind of getting a feel for this job is what the soil's like, not just on the top. You know, if we're digging here, this is loose, okay? You guys can see this is loose material. But one thing I'm noticing is that is what we call degenerated granite, or DG. Well, it's always degenerated on the top, or broken up on the top, because of the weather. See, here's a bigger piece. So what you find is this is what's on top, but as you start digging down, you're gonna have hard bedrock. Might be really getting hard somewhere around 4 feet. Well, that's an issue if you've got to put a septic tank as far down as the bottom of it, as far down as maybe 10 feet. So you can have 2-foot risers, get that thing down on the ground so it doesn't freeze up. But if you're having to dig down 10, 11 feet, we've had some that have had to go down 12 feet, and it was fine digging down to about 9 feet, but then we had to actually have a blast guy come in, and we blasted the whole bottom area just so we could get it out. So that's one thing, you know, this isn't topsoil. This vegetation is growing in powdered granite. It's pretty wild. But I do think out here we'll probably run into some material. The good news is, I think the first thing we're gonna do is build the driveway, and then we get that permitted. Once we get the driveway permitted, the county will allow us to start on the septic process. And so we'll come out here and dig where the leach field's gonna be, which again, I'm guessing is over here. We'll dig 2 8-foot deep test pit holes, which we did on another job that I showed you guys. It was that one that was a real tight fit. And I was in the excavator. It was like Austin Powers. I couldn't move. I think that was part 4 or 5 of our steep and muddy driveway series. You got to go back and check that out. That was pretty sketchy. And I broke the front blade of the excavator on doing that. So anyway, once we dig those pits, we'll clearly be able to see what we're dealing with under here, but at least I have a general idea. Another indicator, check this out. Look at this pole, this electric pole. Figure that's in the ground, what, 2.5 to 4 feet deep, maybe even deeper, maybe 6 feet. You can see what that auger got into. That's all minced granite, which an excavator can get through, but that stuff is on top of hard bedrock, granite bedrock. And if you've ever dealt with hard bedrock that's made from granite, it ceases to be able to be, there's no lips to catch to kind of pop it. Your teeth just slide right across it. It's smooth and hard like a bowling ball. So anyway, that's our deal. Here's a view of the surrounding area, kind of in a valley. Really pretty, really pretty. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We got some obviously cool stuff coming, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.